Oh man, this is intense. Like, I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but like, things are just blowing up right now. It's nuts, guys. Like, Bitcoin Cash was just dumping hard, and like, people were freaking their beans. Oh, and this is crazy for the people that have a lot of money in Bitcoin Cash right now, because it dropped like 10%. It dropped 10%, guys. And like, when you have like 30, 40 grand, maybe 100 grand into Bitcoin Cash or something like that, because you've seen it go up and down all the time, right? You know, it's pretty great. You know, it's a really good profit generator. Now, the reason why I invested in Bitcoin Cash, okay, is exactly this. I invested in Bitcoin Cash because if Bitmain is actually running the situation here, right? They have the majority of the miners, they have the majority of the coins, they can swing their weight with the value, right, of the coin, and we're seeing that. My thing is why wouldn't you invest? Okay? And only from just like a profit view, right? Because you want the profit. That's what we're looking at here. We're not looking at like how good the coin is or anything like that. We're standing back from it for a second and we're saying, okay, can I generate profit off this? If so, how can I do that, right? And that's exactly what's going on here. So again, like I said, I'm looking into this and I see that Bitmain, again, has the majority of the miners, the majority of the coins, and I was watching it the other day, and I watched them look at the market cap, right? So the market cap right now is $22 billion, okay? It was just at $19 billion not 5 minutes ago. So how do that many people drop that much money in a matter of seconds? Okay? Now, I was watching this before, and I saw that $4 billion was dropped in under a minute. Now, if that's not distributed, I don't know what is, right? And like, there's no other clear indicator that, you know, this is like an attack, right? It is distributed. There is malicious intent in this, absolutely. And we can see Bitcoin going down. So I mean, when we look at Bitcoin, right, half of the miners moved away. Well, who is running the majority of the miners, right? Bitmain, right? And if they're primary supporters of Bitcoin Cash, it would only make sense that they would pull out from Bitcoin and then mine Bitcoin Cash. Because think about it, if they can generate this much profit from doing this, why wouldn't they keep doing it, right? It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, personally, if I had all of that hashing power and everything like that, and I could bump the value of Bitcoin Cash and sway it this much, right, and actually get it to be worth something that is, you know, mentionable, then I would keep playing it, right? I would keep playing it, which is a shit thing to say, but again, we're looking at it from just a profit standpoint, right? You guys can see it here. You can see it here. I mean, if we look at the 7-day chart, it's gonna be ridiculous for Bitcoin Cash, right? Look at all of these jumps. You don't go from $1,400 US down to $1,285 and then back up again naturally. That's not a thing, okay? And we saw that over and over and over again, okay? So 1,300 to 1,400, 1,500, 1,600, 1,700, 2,000, 2,400 US, okay? And then a drop down to 17, and then again 14, and then to 17 again, and then down. It's just not natural, okay? And we're aware of that. Like, anybody that is investing in Bitcoin Cash should know this, right? You got to see this coming, right? You got to see this coming. But we don't know what's going to be on top here, right? Oh my god. We just saw a massive increase, okay? So the live feed was reporting a 10% decrease on Bitcoin Cash, okay? And I kind of predicted that it would come back, right? I have a decent amount invested in it, but that is not the reason why I thought it would come back. Again, I thought it would come back because Bitmain is heavily invested into it, right? With their gear, their time, and, you know, basically running this distributed effort. Along with a bunch of other individuals, right? Because we're seeing this. In the exchange, we're seeing huge sell walls, like intense sell walls. And like if we go to Quadriga here into trade, right? We are at 1732. It was just at 1600, and that is the low. How in one day, how is there a low to $1,600 and a high to $3,600? How is that possible? Okay, the answer is it's not possible if it's not a distributed effort, right? And it is, because look, we have 150 Bitcoin Cash that this guy is trying to sell out right now, and if he sells it out at 1800, he thinks that Bitcoin Cash is going to keep going up, right? It's not going to stop. It's going to keep jacking up, right? And I mean, this is an amazing time for investors, because if you buy in, like these people here, I'm not giving financial advice, please note this, but if you buy in here at 1800 and you just sold at 1890, you made a $90 spread. And that's the small part. If you wait half an hour, 45 minutes, right? I can almost guarantee that we're going to see this coin at minimum 2200, right? Look, it just jumped from 1800, 1900. If we go down more on the list, let's just take a look here. Just humor me. Okay. We go a little bit down the list here. We're already at $2,000. And these are small orders. These will get filled fast, right? People will buy these out as they're watching this, you know, basically just liquidate. These guys are selling, right? And I mean, honestly, I was getting nervous with Bitcoin Cash. I was getting a little nervous. Oh yeah, it's done. You don't go from 1910 to 1942 like that. That's crazy. So anyways, like I was saying, I was nervous before because I was looking at this and I'm like, man, like I bought in at 2100 before, and now it's at $1,600 a unit. I bought in at 2100 a unit, right? So to see it go down like that, it made me like, woo, nervous, right? Like, so it was pretty sketchy. But we're already at $2,000 here, right? Just in the time that we've been talking, and it's just been a matter of minutes, we're seeing this thing skyrocket. It is blowing up, okay? People are investing. And if you look at this market cap, okay? 22 billion. After I refresh this, let's take a look. 22.3 billion. 22.7. Okay? So that means that they invested $400 million in the time that we've just been talking, switching tabs. That's ridiculous. That's mental, right? And it's not going to stop there. Earlier, was it today? I believe today or yesterday or something. I recall seeing that Ethereum was actually under Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash surpassed Ethereum on CoinMarketCap here, right? The market cap was higher, and you can see everything is slowly dying out now because Bitcoin Cash is going back up, everything is going down. Like you do not naturally have 123% increase on Bitcoin Cash in a week. That's crazy. Yes, It is distributed. Yes, it may not be the best coin as other people are saying. I know that Roger Ver, he definitely had some things to say about Bitcoin Cash. Oh, it's the next coin. It's gonna be the best. It's da da da. It has a bigger block size. This is the way to go. Now, I mean, I do agree with everybody else stating that Bitcoin has been around. It has been proven. It is utilized everywhere. It is mainstream. People know Bitcoin. When you say, when you talk about cryptocurrencies, what do you think of? You think of Bitcoin, right? Because, it is the longest standing, right? Now, I do understand where people are coming from, the Bitcoin Cash supporters. I do understand what they're saying. They're saying, you know what? The block size of Bitcoin Cash is 8 megs, right? Which is fantastic, whereas Bitcoin is 1 meg, right? And the hard fork didn't happen for the upgrade to 2 meg, right? And there, again, there's a lot of reasons for that. We can speculate and whatever. But, so I can understand why people are looking at Bitcoin Cash and saying, oh, you know what, this is the way to go. Now, but again, I do support other people's theories and assessments on Litecoin, right? I do support those because Litecoin, I do think, is superior to Bitcoin Cash. I really think it is, right? I mean, you have faster transfers, you have, and they're cheaper, right? And it's, it stands the test of time. It is effective, right? And it doesn't have the rep that Bitcoin Cash has. I mean, we look at the rep of Bitcoin Cash, they're basically bashing Bitcoin, which was, there long-standing for a very long time, right? So it does kind of get me. It really does. But, yeah, one of the reasons why I wanted to get this live stream going is I want to show you guys, right? You're seeing it here. It's right here, right? We were at prior to the live stream, we were at like 1,222 US dollars. Now we're at 1,428, 29, and it's going up. We're at a $24 billion market cap, right? And I project that's gonna go over 28 billion, no problem, in the next, I'm gonna say, less than 20 minutes. Less than 20 minutes, we're gonna see that. Instead of 24 billion, we're gonna see it closer to about 28, right? Like, this is just, it is nuts here. And I mean, like, with Bitcoin Cash and everything like that, honestly, I'd be holding this. I would not be selling this. If we go into our trade tab here, we have 11.67 units, right? Which right now is valued at $950. So we have 22.7 grand right now. And that's at 1950, and it just went up to 1995. So 1995, now we're at 23.2 grand. It's just mental. This is crazy. And again, it's only going to keep going up. Like earlier today, we saw it, we actually saw it at 2,500. Right? Like, I wouldn't sell this because I've seen that before. Yesterday I saw it. And that's... you just can't turn that down. You just really can't. It's up 12% in the last hour. Bitcoin is down 2.71%. Ethereum's down 1.5%. Like, just when you thought Bitcoin Cash was done, it was down and out, it was tapping, and Bitcoin was taking it all back. No. What happened was the centralized entities that are basically throwing their weight around in Bitcoin Cash, they just took a break. They went on lunch break for like an hour and a half, came back, and now they're popping off again, right? That is what's happening here. That is exactly what's happening here. We just had a market cap on Bitcoin for like $103 billion, and now we're at 99.8 billion, right? Oh, it's okay. We're at 101 now, so it went back up a bit. Some people bought, but again, we're like 10% gains. 1430, 8.28% on Crypto Compare for the live feed, so we can see what the price is here. Okay, it just dropped a little bit, but again, look at this. Just look at this. 24.51 USD. Okay, flash drops to 15.53. Right? How does it do that? That's not. I don't think that's the difficulty adjustment, because I don't know if you guys are aware, but Bitcoin Cash has a emergency difficulty adjustment. When more people go to mine, right, what happens is the difficulty adjusts, and it makes it a lot more difficult to mine blocks, right? So, I mean, this could very well have been it. When this started going up, miners jumped on, and then the difficulty adjusted and the worth went down. I really don't think that's the case. I think something else is really at work here. I think that, because I've seen it before, this is why I think this. I think that individuals that have, again, hundreds of thousands of dollars are selling their Bitcoin Cash in a second, right? This does not happen over the course of half an hour. That's not even right. How does it drop to 1,500 from 2,400? You know, that's $1,000 a unit. It dropped in half an hour, and we're seeing some things that are similar to that. Some behavior that's similar to that right here. So 14.57 all the way up to 18.45, and then down, and this is what I think they're doing. This is what I think they're doing. I think that they are, I think what they are doing is they're pushing the market up, right? With their sell walls and their buy walls, they're pushing it up, right? And then what happens is the price gets jacked up, right? So they pump the markets up, and then they sell high, right? And they'll undercut. They'll undercut people too, right? Like, let's say you're selling at 1,900, they'll sell it at 1,800. They do not care if they lose the $100 profit per coin, especially when they have 250 coins or 400 coins. They do not care about $100 per coin. They just care that they're getting profit because they bought in at $1,500 per coin, right? So they do not care. And again, we've seen that, right? So all they care about is getting a profit, If we can get a profit, then it doesn't matter what we're losing. It matters what we're getting, right? And that's how they're playing this. That's exactly how they're playing this. So 18.45, it gets hyped up to 18.45, and then it drops off, right? So from 320 to 520, right? So within a 2-hour span, that happened, right? Like, that's crazy. I don't know if this is going to keep dropping, because we may be seeing that right now. They may try to drop the market right now, and it could drop back down to $1,200 in a flash. And that's what's really scary about Bitcoin Cash. And I'll tell any investors that, like, if you are investing in Bitcoin Cash, be careful. Be very, very careful. Yeah, because we can see it drop in a second, right? So it is a scary time right now. But it could also go up, right? So it depends. Like, with high risk comes high reward, right? That's a classic. And I mean, if you're willing to, willing to risk it, then do it up, right? But I mean, the major thing that I'm looking for here, one of the things that I'm looking at here is the market cap, right? We're seeing 23.5 billion market cap, and it's slowly dropping off now, But my question is, how are the other coins doing? But see, so 1477, this is 1400. So let's see if this drops off as well. Oh man, it is kind of nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It is intense. It really is. So now we're seeing it go back up. 1418, 1398. Man, from 1200. So from 1209, we saw that rise to 1433. It's crazy. So I want to see what the other coins are up to now. What are people investing in? And then we can kind of figure out why they're doing as such, right? So people, it looks like people are still investing in Bitcoin Cash, right? Because we're seeing a 15% gain in the last hour, right? Bitcoin is dropping off. Ethereum is dropping off. We saw another 2 billion drop out of Bitcoin and pop into Bitcoin Cash. Or other things, right? IOTA is still good. It's hanging out. Ethereum Classic dropped off a little bit, but I think that's going to come back. I mean, we do have, what is it? November 13th and November 14th coming up, where the meetings are happening. I can't remember where they're doing them, if it's in Hong Kong or whatever it is. But yes, they do have the meetings going on, and there's supposed to be some really fantastic projected news. So I guess we'll see what is what's happening that way. Okay. So anyways, like, man. And I mean, see, I feel bad for the people that are invested in Bitcoin and they're seeing the shit end of the stick for this, right? Because they were at $9,000 Canadian, more than that even at another point, and they dropped off really hard, right, down to 6,000. And I have a lot of respect for Bitcoin Core, and you know, all of the people that have invested into it have, you know, not only their money but their time, right? I have a lot of respect for that, so I don't want to see it go away. I don't think that Bitcoin Cash is going to run the show here, but I think for now it is a good investment vehicle, but very, very short term, right? I don't think it's going to be hanging out for the long term. I think Bitcoin is still going to run the show. And eventually at some point they will figure out the block size issue, right? And hopefully decrease not only the transaction time, but also the transaction cost, right? I mean, that would be fantastic. But I mean, the other thing I want to look at is the Bitcoin dominance here, right? So we have 51.2%. And before, when Bitcoin was a little more at its high, I think we had 62 or 64% dominance, you know, in the cryptocurrency market. So to see it drop down to 51.2 in a matter of days, and I mean like 3 days, is mind-blowing, right? As everybody knows, right? Like, this is the elephant in the room. Bitcoin Cash is the elephant in the room. And again, I'm not supporting Bitcoin Cash as a project or as a technology, right? Or for what it's promoting, right? I'm not doing that at all. What I am saying, though, is it is a good vehicle to generate profit now, right? You buy in low, then you sell high, and it's, you know, it's just unreal. It really is. I'm just gonna move this up here, that way I can see live stream comments. So yeah, I mean, 11.5%, right? So 1860, like now would be, now wouldn't be the worst time to buy, right? According to what we've seen, because usually what happens when the market drops down to 1700 to 1600 Canadian, again, we've seen this time and time again over the past few days, what happens is people will buy, right? Like these distributed characters, they will buy at those low rates, and then they will pump the market up, right? And like we saw before, all the way up to 2500 Canadian, they will pump it, right? And then that is when they mass sell. So what I tend to do is I do not sell like at the top of the peak, right? And the reason why is because if they drop the hammer, it's game over. You lost your chance to sell, right? So, and that's where it becomes really tough, because you need to determine, okay, where is my window, right? Am I getting close to the end of that portion, right? So let's just take another look here. So 1409, so it just dropped again. And if we look here, we're at 1380. So again, I could have very well missed the window, or it could go right back up. We don't know, right? So we're at 23.2 billion market cap right now. So, and yeah, it could drop off, or it could come right back up. We have no clue, unfortunately. So we're at 10% now in Bitcoin Cash, and people moved 2 billion from Bitcoin Cash back into Bitcoin. So this is what's going on here, right? People are really just transitioning from Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin, and they're doing it fast. They're doing it in a matter of like seconds, right? If Bitcoin Cash goes down, like a good portion of the people that are invested in it with Bitcoin, they pull out and they go back to Bitcoin because they don't want to lose their investments, right? They're not playing games. If it drops down a few $100, that's it. They're piecing, you know? So it really is a ride or die situation right now, you know? And I wouldn't be live streaming it if it wasn't incredibly important, you know? So yeah, just 1 second, guys. Just 1 second. Just closing up some things here, cleaning things up a bit. Okay, so that should be a lot more easier for me to work with. Whew. Anyways, okay, so let's take another look at this here quickly. So 10.4%. Okay, so people actually pulled out of Ethereum too. People pulled out of Ethereum, and whether they invested in Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash, we're not entirely too certain, but they pulled out because Ethereum was actually at 30 billion, right? And that dropped off as well. So, man, this is intense. We just lost another 10 bucks on our live rate here on Bitcoin Cash. And we can see it here on Quadriga, right? We can see it here, 1866, and people are trying to sell at 1918. Generally, what happens when the buy orders are so close to these sell orders, usually it gets pumped more, right? So let's take a look here. Let's see who's really moving this right now, right? If we take a look through this buy order scale, look at this guy, 150 units of Bitcoin Cash he wants to buy. Right? Well, who's on the sell side? Let's take a look at that for a second. We have 50 Bitcoin Cash here. He wants to sell at 2 grand, right? So he projects that it's going to go to 2 grand, right? And people, even at 250 or whatever, nothing. The reason why people are up here is because it's been here before. That's why their orders are there. So, okay. So, my hypothesis here is that the market drops more so that these orders, more of these orders get filled, right? And I don't mean these little piddly small orders. I mean these bigger orders, like 10 Bitcoin Cash plus at least, right? This 15 Bitcoin Cash, 20 Bitcoin Cash, and 150 Bitcoin Cash. Usually these two stay really close together, right? These two bids stay really close together. And 1750, 1760, that's what they're shooting for. That's what they want to buy at. And I do believe that when this guy's Bitcoin Cash sells out, this 150, I do believe that it'll go up. Because usually there are two bids going. Oh yeah, there's your second bid right there. 150, another 150. Okay. Now I get it. I know what you're saying. That's not enough to say that this is a, you know, distributed event. But when they move at the same time and they sell almost at the same time, that tells me something, you know. That really does. And everybody's dropping their sell orders right now. And people are buying at 1863 because what's happening is these guys, they want them to sell low, right? They want them to sell low. So they're going to temporarily drop it. So if we look at this now, I think this is just inspiring fear, uncertainty, and doubt, right? It's just FUD. That's all this is right here. They drop it 30 bucks, 40 bucks, right? And then people sell off because they're like, oh man, it's going back down. I better get out. I better get out, right? Wait 10 minutes. Wait 20 minutes, okay? And then see if it goes up again, right? That's really what you got to do here. Because I think, again, I think we're going to see this go down a little bit. And then I think it's just going to jack right back up again. I do not think that Bitcoin Cash is done. I don't. Because again, there's just too much profit to be had. I mean, we could sell at 1940 right now, but we would have to hope. We would have to hope that Bitcoin Cash wouldn't come back up. Because if Bitcoin Cash comes back up, then it's not worth it. It would have been a waste, right? So if I sold at 1945 or whatever, right? They're buying at 1880 now. And this little small bid, that's a push. See, that's a push for people to buy higher. These little small bids. Because everybody wants to sell their stuff quick, right? Or buy their stuff quick. They don't want to mess around. They don't want to wait. But we're seeing it here, right? And these are bull orders. Right? This guy doesn't actually want to sell his 15 Bitcoin Cash at 1878. He doesn't actually want to sell that. I really don't think so. I think what he's trying to do, see, that's why he's pulling back. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to troll the market a little bit. They want people to beat their sell orders so they sell for cheaper. Right? And that's why they're pulling out all the time. How is there another 15 Bitcoin Cash there? You know? And why do they keep moving it like this? Because they're buying low and they're selling high, right? And they're doing it artificially, right? This is not natural behavior. But it has been a really prime time to make some decent profit. So, look at this. 35 Bitcoin Cash at 1900. He's trying to sell it for. And then we got another 13 here because a portion of his 15 got sold. So tell me this, okay guys? Maybe you can tell me in live chat. How does 15 Bitcoin Cash go up 2 units of it sells, then they move their bid and another 15 Bitcoin Cash goes right up to the top? How does that happen naturally? Maybe coincidence? But again, if it happens incredibly frequently with the same numbers over and over and over again, that's just a pattern, right? We're seeing a pattern. And that's what I'm basing my logic off of here. I'm basing it off of a pattern. So this is what I'm looking at. I bet you if we go back, we see it drop more. Yeah, 1345. It was 1333. I think we'll see it drop down again to about 1700. I do think that we'll see it drop to 1700, and then I do think that we'll see it shoot back up again. Yeah, like 1640. He's just waiting. So is this guy. So are these guys. So is this guy. All of these guys are waiting. They're waiting for all of this to drop. And they're pushing the sell orders up so people sell for less. So they're pushing people to sell for less. And they're not pushing buy orders anymore. Usually they push their buy orders. This is an artificial bid. This is bullshit. Because you don't go from 1918 to 1800 like that. This is realistic. I can see this. I can see this. But if 1879.99 drops to 1800, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. I don't think that's legit. Because any person in their right mind would sell at 1900. This 5 Bitcoin Cash is bullshit. This 15 is bullshit. Because why would you sell at 1850 when you can sell at 1920? These are all bullshit bids. Because they're trying to drop the market. It's deliberate. It's not even fake. It's not a joke. So you're playing with some really intense forces here, because they're able to manage the market with the amount of money they have. They can deliberately adjust how it works. It's crazy. And again, that's how you know this is so distributed. These are all bullshit bids. Any person in the right mind would leave that at 1918. There's that other drop that we were talking about, 12.99. Maybe 1300. Right, 1380. And I'm just not comfortable selling at that rate. Just 1 second, guys. Okay. Yeah, so again, I do project that it's going to keep going down. I really do. But I do think we're going to see it pump again, because when it gets low, these guys are just getting started, I think. I think when it gets low, they're going to buy it all up again and push the market up. I think that's what we're going to see. Selling at 1850, buying at 1805. Man. Well, I'm glad to see that, like, I'm a little bit more confident in Bitcoin Cash, like, as far as my investment goes. To see it rise so quickly like that, and to see it drop. Now, it's weird that that would inspire confidence, but it tells me that I'm going to see the same patterns, right? And we're seeing it right now. 13, 14, 13, 18, you know? And, again, we're going to just see this jump. It's going to blow up. But these patterns, they do inspire more confidence in my investment. That is for sure. Because if we see it go up to 2,500 Canadian again, I'm done. I will cash out and, you know, invest in other things. Because this, it's not only stressful, it makes you a little nervous almost, right? Because you have a lot really riding in there. You have a lot of money. But again, the gains, it's hard to turn down the gains, because like I started out with 11,200, and if I do sell at 2,500, right? I'll have made 30 grand. You know, and 30 grand is no joke. 30 grand is a lot of do-re-mi. So that would be intense if we can make that kind of sale. But we don't know. I think we're gonna see it today at some point. But 1306, it just dropped off a little bit. Let's go back to, and this dropped as well. But again, yeah, and we're getting there, right? They're pushing the market. They're literally pushing it downwards, right? The guys that are supporting Bitcoin Cash, the main supporters, I really think they're pushing it down right now so they can buy it cheap and then artificially boost it up so they can sell it high, right? And I do think it's distributed. We have I don't know if these large firms are just chilling on TeamSpeak or what, but I do think that some shit is going on here, guys. And it's nuts. It really is. It's mind-blowing that this can happen. You know? The first time I saw this, I almost lost it. I was like, as if this is a thing. You know? So let's see where we're at here. 12.95, so it dropped off more. Yeah, and I think it'll keep dropping. But I really don't think it's going to drop under 1,100. I don't think so. It's shown a massive amount of resistance at 1,200. So I really don't think it's going to drop down. And again, that inspires confidence in me, right? Because I can look at 12.95 and, you know, sweating 50 bucks means nothing to me. Because these guys, they can boost it up in a matter of seconds, right? But nobody has been able to drop it under 1,200, really, right? Like, we've seen 1209 at one of the lows over here. We've seen 1289, but nowhere have we seen under 1,200 throughout the entire course of this day. The lowest we saw it was 1209. So I think if we break the 1,200 barrier and we go under 1,200, that makes me a little more nervous, just a little bit, because that has not happened. They do not want that happening. They want this up there because, so they can generate more profit, right? We just saw a jump to 12.92, and it's gonna keep popping. It's Let's see in a second here. Okay, check this out, guys. Look at this buy order and look at these sell orders, right? I don't know if these sell orders are legitimate or not. 27 and 14, are they nervous? Because if they were smart, they would not. Look at this guy. He just dropped this bid at 1801, 15 Bitcoin Cash. That is the number that we have been seeing, okay? He's dropping it at 1801 to manipulate the market when he could have done 1870, right? There's no reason for anybody to put up 15 Bitcoin Cash for 1800. There's no reason. Not when you can sell it for 1870. That's a $70 spread per unit. That's literally hundreds of dollars, okay? So, I mean, if you guys want more proof, I don't know how to get it to you. It's here. We're seeing it right now. This is you know, major history in the market. This is gonna be one of those crashes that they're going to reference for a while. They're gonna say, oh yeah, look at Bitcoin Cash. We've seen that this is a thing with cryptocurrencies, right? Distributed efforts are a thing, right? And again, I think it's going to be a hot topic for a while after, you know, for the next coming weeks here. I do think it's going to be a pretty hot topic. And again, we're seeing it, right? We were talking about 1840 dropping down into the 1700 zone again, right? And we're seeing it. And I think we're seeing that because these orders need to be fulfilled, right? These massive orders need to be fulfilled. 1650, 150 Bitcoin Cash, right? I mean, if you had that much money, wouldn't you want to buy Bitcoin Cash at 1650? If you've seen it go up to 2,500 a unit? That's a massive spread. Like, I don't know what else to say. That's mental, right? Let's do the math on that in just a second here, right? So we're going from 1650 minus 2,500. That's an $850 spread, right? So we're gonna do 850 times 150 Bitcoin Cash. So literally, oh my gosh, hold up. Yeah, that's an $850 spread, right? So we're gonna times that by the amount of Bitcoin Cash they have, which is 150. Okay, that's $127,000 that this guy makes if he buys at 1650 and sells at 2,500, which can happen in a matter of minutes, right? Because that's how versatile this market is. It's up, down, up, down, up, down. It's everywhere, you know? It's not unheard of for it to hit lows and then hit highs in seconds, you know, as of the past few days. This is not unheard of. So 1322, we were at the 1200. Yeah, we were in the 1200 zone before. Now we're back up to 1322. So again, I don't know if this is gonna rise up or if this is just artificial right now and they're just playing games or what. But I mean, if we look at the market generally, the market cap is usually about 24 billion when we start getting into the 1500 range, 1500 US dollars. Usually it's about 24 billion on the market cap, right? And then when we start seeing things like 1600 US, 1700 US, 1800 US, things like that, we start seeing 31 billion market cap, 32 billion market cap, right? Because people are jumping in on this. So, just one moment here, guys. Hello? Hey, live streaming. Yeah. On YouTube right now. You're on YouTube right now, yeah. What's that? Yeah. Yeah. If you want, again, I'm gonna be locked up here. I won't be able to do anything for a while. Yeah. Oh, okay. Bye. Sorry about that, guys. Alright. Let's get back at it here. So, we're at 1,335. Okay. Are we gonna see this drop, or what is happening here? 1790. Man. They're dropping back into the 700 zone because they want to buy. That's for certain. I don't think if I were to sell here, I don't think I would make much profit. Especially with them holding this bid up here. These artificial bids. Because they want people to buy at over 1790. They're really putting the market in a tough place. So I don't know what's going to happen here. 1330. I don't know when they're gonna push this up, but it could happen at any moment. Like, I don't know. Man. But yeah, between these two markets, there is definitely a lot of controversy. It's gonna be eventful seeing what happens here in the next little while, right? It's crazy how this can all change at the at the flip of a switch, essentially, from $1,800 to 1,900 in seconds. It's just crazy. I'm starting to wonder if these buy orders are actually artificial or not. Because if the bigger guys wanted to sell out, like buy Bitcoin Cash, they would just do it, right? It's not a matter of when, really. They just do it. $1,800 and 1838. Man. Let's see what I would have if I sold in at 1838. $21,400. It's not enough, guys. That does not cut it. I could never sell right now. $13.30. Man. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get something to drink because all that talking got me really thirsty. Okay. And we're back. Eh, unpopular today. Hello? Just live streaming. Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Actually, I'm wondering, do you want to pick up, Raph? Yeah, cause he. No, I didn't yet, but I'd be down to go get it afterwards. I just, again, I'm live streaming. Yeah. Okay, sure. Yeah, if you wanna grab Raph and swing by my place, that sounds good to me, man. Unless you want me to get him. Okay, cool. Yeah, then I'll see you here then. Sweet. Okay, bye. Sorry about that, guys. I actually finished my work day a little while ago, and you know, after I finish work, I figure I'd put some time in and do up this live stream. But yeah, I'm pretty popular after my day ends. Okay, so 1765, 1780, right? So we are seeing that 1700 dip that we were talking about before. You know, it is happening. Now, let's see if the rise that we projected will happen as well, right? If we see that rise, then you guys know. You can see the pattern as well as I can, right? So 1321, 1317. I was watching, you know, some other videos the other day there, and I think it was Sunny D or something like that. He put up a video which basically was talking about, you know, how BitConnect is kind of ridiculous, you know, Ponzi scam and this kind of jazz, right? And I found it kind of interesting. So, you know, I do a little bit of research and checking it out. And so, first off, they have a setup basically saying, yeah, within 10 days, we're going to be releasing, you know, a Visa card that will allow you to, you know, you can do your purchases through that Visa card, and it'll use your cryptocurrency, right? And so they go on further to communicate with Visa and to communicate with MasterCard. MasterCard comes back, tweets them back, and says, the images that you're referencing here with BitConnect and our logo were not by our consent. We do not have an agreement with them at all. Right? And so I found that quite interesting because, you know, there are some people that are really just trying to extract funds in any way they can, right? With scams and things like that. So I thought that was quite interesting. Now, whether or not they have an agreement with Visa, I don't know, but I just found that a little interesting that that went that way. $13.13. 0.21 Bitcoin a unit. It's crazy. I wonder what the high was for that. 0.45. That's crazy. 0.45. There was a high of that. That's crazy. As if 1 Bitcoin Cash was almost equal to half of a Bitcoin. Almost. That blows me away. Like, you would never imagine that. You would never see that coming. Nobody. Nobody would see that coming. could get 12 Bitcoin Cash. If I sold right now and then I bought back right afterwards, I could make a little bit more. My problem is I don't know when it's going to pump again. I don't know when it's going to pump. Because if I sold now and then I had to buy back, oh, that would be really rough. It'd be really rough. So that's our problem here. We don't know when Bitcoin Cash is going to pump again. And it is a little nerve-wracking, honestly. It really is. Ah, man. Because, like, are these dummy bids? Are they trying to drop the market? I don't know. But I do know, like, from what I'm looking at here, they are small orders. Now, my next question is, where are these massive orders sitting? They're sitting at 1650. So my assumption is that they're projecting for 1650, right, as a low. And if that is the case, I would rather buy at 1650 and then sell at 2100 or whatever it may be. That is a little more realistic right now. $17.75. That's such a bullshit bid. Why would you sell at that when you can sell at $18.24? Crazy, man. They're dropping the market. That's what's happening. They're dropping it. They're dropping it and they're gonna try to drop it fast. They're trying to anyways. But thankfully, it's not happening. Man, this is so crazy. It's just crazy what's happening here. 13.89. Damn. How's everything else doing now? Let's take a look here. I saw Dash was actually not too bad before. It was actually at a more of a high. It was at 445 or 46 a unit, and now it's down to 415. That's crazy that it would drop like that, you know, from 415 to 445 and then dropped. That's a lot per unit to drop. Like Ethereum isn't seeing that, which I think is really fantastic, because what it shows is that Ethereum is a really consistent currency to be using, right? It is a really consistent coin. You're not seeing you know, highs and lows and this and that all the time. Usually where you see Ethereum hover around is about 387 Canadian to about 415 Canadian. It's in that range, and it doesn't really move out of it, right? Which means that it has established its worth in the market, right? Which is really good. It has a solid established worth in the market, and we like to see those things, right? And that is why people invest in Ethereum, you know? And honestly, I don't blame them. I mean, Bitcoin Cash is stressful. It can be, at the very least. Okay, now we're starting to move up a little bit. I'm waiting to see this go from 13.11 to 13.50 in you know, one fell swoop, right? When we see something like that, then we know the big runners came to play. Okay, it dropped a bit. I want to make my best effort to keep this live stream going until we see that rapid increase in worth of Bitcoin Cash. When we see that rapid rise. I want to, I definitely want to capture that, because then I can look back at this, and then you guys can see it firsthand, what exactly is going on here. So what's happening is Bitcoin is going up now because Bitcoin Cash is going down a little bit here and there. So we're dropping another 5%-ish right now on Bitcoin Cash. I think we'll see this drop again to like the 1250 range. If we saw that, then I'd have a better idea of what's happening here. 1760 this guy wants. And this is just bullshit. So you can see what they're doing, right? They're pushing this bid at 1820 because they want people to sell lower than 1820. Now they want them to sell lower than 1788. That's what he's pushing for. That's why he has his 15 Bitcoin Cash bid here, so he gets people that do this. Okay? I want you guys to see that strategy, because when you see this, that's when you know what is going on, how you can make money, right? When people do this, they want you to beat their bid. They really do. Because he will not want to sell for 1820, because he knows it's going to go higher. What he's trying to do is trying to push the market down. He wants to push the market down so he can buy for cheaper. Right? Make sense, guys? Like, this is a classic. This is like textbook right here, guys. And it's dropping, and he's going to keep trying to drive it down. He's going to keep trying to drive it down. I wonder if he has the same agenda as the other individuals on the other exchanges. Do they all have the same agenda? I think if they did, they would be a hell of a lot more coordinated in their efforts. Because right now, we're just sitting in the middle of a storm. It's pretty much what we're doing. We're sitting in the middle of a tornado. Where everything's calm, it's, you know, kind of calm and cool and collected. But in a little bit here, shit's gonna go down. Everything's down pretty much. Very small gains on the ones that aren't. Very small gains. Oh man. Yeah, I think we're pretty much playing the waiting game here. I don't know what their idea is. I think people are catching on to this bullshit. That's what I think's happening. I think people are understanding that this is ridiculous. also think that people are actually thinking that this guy wants to sell his Bitcoin Cash. We know he doesn't. We know he doesn't. You don't just put your 15 behind this wall like that. And that quickly. That's like an API. How he's dropping his orders and putting them back up like that, that's almost like an API. Okay, let's watch this drop. $17.63. See, why would you do that? Why would you go $17.63 buying and then $7.63 selling if you could sell at like $1,800 easily? Someone bought that for sure. Oh, for sure. If I had the money, I would have bought that. I would have bought that right out. Gone. Man. Yeah, it's getting pushed down. They're pushing it down in the 1700s. As if these guys... This is just fucking crazy. I've never, you know, I've never experienced something like this in my life. Like, I cannot say that, you know, I've sat down and traded tens of thousands of dollars, you know, in an exchange like this with this kind of behavior. Never. Never. Like, this blows me away that people do this, you know? It blows me away, but at the same time, it's incredible, right? That this is happening, that people can do this, like, because it's it's an incredibly quick way to make money and an incredibly quick way to lose money if you don't know what you're doing. And I think that everybody has made a mistake here or there where they lost a little bit of money, like me the other day when I mistyped and I lost like $500 or something. I mean, I've made it all back since, but still, that is, you know, pretty crazy thing to think about. $12.91. I mean, I think if I sold at 1800, I'd just see it go down some more, and then I could probably generate a profit that way. But I'm a pretty firm believer that it's gonna go up. Pretty firm believer. $21.59 billion market cap. Just make up your mind what you guys want to do. Do you want to go up or do you want to go down? I think it's pretty clear to me that they want to take this down. $12.83. Let's see where those high bidders are sitting at right now. $1,610 they're sitting at. That's what they're waiting for. 1,600. Man. This guy's actually buying at 1760. People are actually selling to him. That's intense. So he's actually fulfilling that order. That's really good for him because he's going to make a lot of profit on that. That is for sure. He's going to make a lot of profit on that. $12.82. Okay, $17.94. Man, yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. $12.84. Oh man. $17.40 they're aiming for. Makes me wonder if I should just sell it. I don't think so. Too low. Because we haven't seen, like, the lowest we saw was 1,600. I think it's going to be really hard for Bitcoin Cash to get down to 1,600 again. Like, I think we'll see 1,650 or 1,660 or 1,680, but I don't think we'll see 1,600 again. Just like we won't see 3,600, you know? I don't think we'll see that. I mean, it'd be great if we did, but... Whew. Man. I think this is just going to stay the way it is now for a little while here until we see a big jump. When we see a big jump to like $1,480, then I think we're going to start going upwards, which may be in half an hour, maybe in another hour, you know, we'll see. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to monitor these values, right? And then if we see that happening, then I will start up the live stream once again for that. Right now, I think we're just going to be seeing these values fluctuating a little bit here and there until the big players come to play, right? I don't think we're going to see much right now. I think we're going to see it later on. So that's what I think we're going to do. I will end this live stream here. And then when this value pops back up, if I'm available, I will start it back up, and then I will record what exactly happens when those values jump. Because that's what people want to see, right? That's what everybody wants to see. So if that happens, then I will live stream again, and then hopefully you guys will be able to see that and witness that along with me. Alright? But until then, say take care, guys, and I'll catch you later.